Coffee and, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee and panel.
It is Coffee and on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. It's Wednesday morning. It's June 4th, and I'm Joe Callahan. We go around the table. We'll say good morning to Melissa Smith. Hi, Melissa.
Good morning, everybody.
And Tim Draper's here as well.
Howdy, everyone.
And John Ward. Hi, John.
Good morning.
Nice to have you all with us here for another edition of
Yeah,
Coffee.
you say that now.
Yeah,
Give
we'll
us
see what
5
happens
minutes.
in a couple of minutes. I know.
After Melissa's message, it
before
all falls apart.
Before we get into the
What a
the
reputation.
ugliness, Melissa, let's get a first message from
There's
the
no ugliness.
Saint Antoine
Let's just-
communities.
We can
it's
turn
just
this
all
whole show around. We don't have to share
It's
any of the
all-
bad
It's like the
stuff.
Titanic.
moonlights
It takes
and
a while.
and butterflies.
100%. 100%. Right,
All
guys?
right.
Yes, Melissa.
If
I
we
gotta
all
go-
join together, we can agree that this will be a happy, positive show this morning.
Well, Joe's driving. I'm not so sure how happy or positive it's going to be.
Oh, man.
First message, please, Melissa.
Of course. Yeah. So for those of you that don't know a lot about St. Antoine Community, we are a large long-term care campus, and we are located in North Smithfield and right on the line of Blackstone, Mass. and Woonsocket. On our property, we offer an expansive continuum of services that range from assisted living to short and long-term skilled care. We have a state-of-the-art rehab facility as well as 2 levels of secured memory care. So if you are interested in learning a little bit more about St. Antoine Community and all the services we have available to support you or a loved one, you can reach me at 401-767-3500 or email me at msmith@santantoine.net.
All right, Melissa, very good. And the first thing we'll start off with
I'm already
today,
cringing.
and this well, it could affect the 3 of you. It doesn't affect me because I'm the only one from Massachusetts. But people in Rhode Island have been getting text messages. It looks like it's coming from the Rhode Island Division of Motor Vehicles.
Yep.
You got to send us money, or we're going to
Yep.
suspend your license, and blah blah blah. This, that, and the other thing. And cops are showing up at your door. Has anyone received one?
Yep,
I believe
right
I
here.
did.
I have not.
Wow, both Tim and Melissa
You were
received
spared. Let's see.
I'm looking
believe
forward
I got
to
that
my
one.
opportunity to respond with profanity.
And they're both looking up and so you saved the text message?
No, I deleted
I think I deleted
yesterday.
it too. I've been
Okay.
getting walloped with a lot of weird ones lately.
I feel deprived.
Sorry, John.
Yep.
But you know, here's the weird thing. Now, I was out of town for the weekend, and this could be one of those things. I don't know when this would have come in.
Recently, so
But
sometime this week, I guess.
I wonder if it's simply about IDing phones that in a particular geographic area at a moment.
Mm-hmm.
That they would get it and I wouldn't, because I was out of town and maybe my phone wasn't around to get pinged for
Well,
that kind of message.
That's a
Maybe.
possibility, I guess.
I don't know if
Okay.
they're doing messages or just locational kind of crap.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Either way, it's
know.
all junk.
Yep.
I'd love to get my hands on one of them and
Obviously, the DMV says they do
have
not
a whip in my hand.
they don't request payment or send threats by text messages.
It was a long one too.
It was
There
a
were
long one. I
like
actually
4 or
don't know
5
why.
steps to it. Yeah.
I'm wondering if it got like
Oh, maybe
retrieved or
pulled?
something.
But it was
Well,
like
let's.
click on a link and do what, send us money kind of thing.
I'm going to spin this into a positive.
Okay, good luck.
So I want to give a shout out to Home Depot because
Well, all right then.
There you go.
oddly, proactively, I ordered something in the store that they didn't have, or I ordered something at the front desk customer service that they didn't have in stock in the store, and they set up the order for me just like you were doing online or whatever, and it shipped to me. I got a text 2 days before the arrival letting me know the estimated time of it was for, by the way, patio cushions. It's not like there was something like monumentally expensive. 4 patio cushions. But anyways, let me know the estimated time of delivery the next day. The next day, I got 2 texts. One letting me know the driver was on the road and his name was such and such to be expecting his arrival. Then upon arrival, so-and-so, by name, again reference, is in your driveway and delivering your item. We hope you have a great day. If you have any problems with your delivery, let us know.
Wow.
I was shocked. I thought it was like,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's pretty good.
appropriate. I don't think I've even gotten that when I've had very expensive items delivered.
Yeah.
They've just been left in my driveway in the pouring rain. This was
Right.
like next tier for a couple of patio cushions. Just want to
Wow.
say, compared to all the other yucky text messages we've been getting lately, spam this, spam that.
Now
They're
was
on-
that
they're on top
a
of things.
was that like a Home Depot employee
No.
that delivered them, or was it a shipping
No.
company that delivered it?
It,
Like
it
a
all was
UPS or an
done through
Amazon
the.
driver.
It was all done through. Oh, well, that's a good question. I wasn't there when it came.
Or
Yeah.
FedEx.
So what kind of
Interesting.
vehicle it was coming in? But
Well, I mean, Home Depot would have the the chance or the time, I would think, to from the customer service desk say, hey, we just sent Johnny out to your house to drop off your cushions.
Well, let's say
versus UPS, who I get UPS text messages all the time that say your package is arriving, and I think I didn't order anything. So.
But you have to set that up. I feel like with UPS, a few times
Right.
I've had important things being delivered. I've
Right.
selected to get the text alerts or the
Yep.
updates. This
Yep.
wasn't prompted that way at all, and I've never been given the driver's name.
Well,
And I was maybe it's a fake name for this guy's protection, but whatever it was, I thought,
Yeah.
that was like to the minute. So if I wanted to race home and meet the driver, if it was something more valuable, I was like, oh, look at that. So non-spam text. I just wanted to give a little
All right.
positive.
impressive.
Way to go, Home Depot.
Way to go,
Yeah.
Home Depot.
The last time I had something delivered by Amazon, from where I was sitting in my house, I saw the Amazon driver actually pull up. Great. So I went out to meet him and just have it handed to me. He said, sir, I've got to put it on the
And
down
take a picture
so I
of
can
it.
take a picture of it. I said,
Can't
"Nope.
you take a picture of me holding it?
do
I'll
your
smile.
No, do your job.
Can you move your feet, sir?
Yeah. And he's like, thank you very much. So yeah, they can't hand it to you. They got to put it down and
Isn't
need
that
proof
funny? Yeah.
that they made the delivery.
I
All
feel
right.
like that would be technology, whatever Home Depot's using, that would be more suitable even for Amazon, just because there's so many question marks. Sometimes people don't get delivered
Right.
because the volume
Yeah.
of packages you have delivered.
Right.
But to get that advance notice, just to
You
know who's
know,
delivering it.
I don't know about, well, I don't, maybe advance notice. I've never looked into whether or not when you order something on Amazon, whether when you're tracking it, like you right now, you'd have to go online to track it. You think that. I wonder if there's an option to have it do more notifications if you ask
Maybe
it to.
if you selected it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna look into that.
Because if you
Oh
go
wait,
into,
you're retired, so you're gonna look
if-
into that. You've got the time.
if you go into tracking, you can simply go to the Amazon page and it'll tell you the status, and literally
on its
within
way.
moments of the delivery, it'll switch to having been delivered.
Right.
I wonder if you can advance that to a higher level,
I bet you could.
because it's so important that you know when the gentleman a lady is dropping a box on your front door.
I've also
in the
noticed
rain.
some companies will say, "All right, your package will be delivered on we'll just say Friday," and then it actually shows up on Thursday, and they say, "Aren't we wonderful?"
Aren't we
I said,
awesome?
"No, you plan
I'm
that
more
ahead of
I'm
time."
amazed at when you
Honestly,
order it.
I have no experience with that at all.
Really? Oh, okay.
I've ordered on Amazon in the morning and have had the product in the afternoon.
Yeah, afternoon.
I haven't had that
How in the
happen.
world do they do
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
I've ordered something in the evening, and it says it'll be delivered between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m., and sure enough, you open the door the next
There it
morning.
is.
it's
There it is. Wow.
Well, that makes my dog happy when we're down to the last scoop, and you're like, I
Here
sure
comes
hope
Chewy.
that's that arrives in time, or else you're getting table scraps.
Well, basically, what we come back to the original. If you're getting these text messages from the Rhode Island Department of Motor Vehicles, it is a scam,
Yep.
and just delete it and get rid of it, and certainly don't pay them. All right, other things going on, and this is a sad situation. It happened last week with the alleged drunk driver in Franklin ran into the family that killed a 5-year-old girl, put the mother and the son in the hospital. The father, he's out of the hospital. His injuries weren't as bad, but the mother passed away.
I was going to say
yesterday.
that she passed away.
Yes. The son is still in the hospital.
Yep.
Not sure the extent of his injuries. I'm like, it is just getting worse.
Yeah. 21-year-old kid, right, driving the truck.
Yes. It's just getting worse and worse for the father. The daughter dies, now his wife dies. And now he's got, I don't know where things are with his son. But I'm
You
like,
can't
wow.
even stomach that. You can't even imagine what they're going through.
Yep.
That is rough. And, okay. Moving on from that. All right, I wanted to... we're going to find it.
Waiting
I
for
gotta
the
find
good
it.
stuff.
The good stuff, okay.
Are
coming.
you all done?
It's coming. It's coming.
Well, I don't know where everyone stands on the whole student from Milford getting picked up by ICE. And maybe you won't agree with me on this, but in every news story, they keep saying the young man, first of all, he's an adult. He's 18, and he's a junior in high school.
Yep.
They keep saying, well, he was on his way to volleyball practice, trying to make him look like he's a choir boy.
Yeah.
I wish they'd stop saying that part. And found out from, ICE said, well, we really don't want him.
Yeah.
We're looking for his father. I said, that's a brilliant move by ICE.
Yeah.
Is it ethical? Is it moral? Well,
No,
that's
probably not.
I don't know. But to try to flush his father out, we've got your son. Now what do you
Well,
do?
that
And the
seems-
father hasn't come forward yet
That
either.
seems to be more like a hostage situation,
Yes, it
which
is.
is very much illegal, if I recall.
Is it if federal agents do it?
I'm disgusted with the whole thing. But
There's always a great line from the Hawkeye had in the TV show MASH. It's a good thing you're the good guys, or else that would be illegal.
Yeah.
That's an actual line.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe that's it. I said that. Well, is like I said, ethically, morally, it's probably wrong, but it's a brilliant move to try to flush the father out. We've got your son.
Well, did they do that on purpose, or did they think because he was driving the father's car, they pulled him over?
And they pulled him over. Oh, you're not him. Well, we're going to take you anyway.
Yeah, because you're driving this car, and it's your father. We'll get that. We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
And then the fact that it takes so long, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't have any. I don't have any.
Anybody else?
Thoughts on it. It's
Any
stupid.
Thoughts on it? Nope.
Don't even ask me.
All right, John.
Tactic, not very nice.
Tactful.
No, nice is not going to factor into it at all. It's just, ice is not. Well, that rhymes. Ice is not nice.
They are using the fact that he is not a citizen to their advantage.
Was he one of the DACA kids? He was brought here, right?
He was brought here.
He was brought here when he was 5. So
yeah.
he may be a one of those kids. Don't know.
Okay. Well, we'll see if it works, and we'll see if the father gets flushed out somehow, wherever he may be at this time. Tough day for this man down in Cranston. He was pinned under a car.
Did you find out what happened there?
Of how he got
pinned? Yeah.
No. According to our story from this morning, investigators are trying to determine how the man became trapped under the vehicle. So, but they had first responders had to call, and crews were able to free the victim, who was then taken to Rhode Island Hospital. I don't have any word on his injuries.
On the car?
Doesn't say.
Usually that's what happens.
No.
You're working on something.
But he is in critical condition. So.
That's not good.
You know, that's how. Melissa's not going to know this person. Remember Mark Fidrich?
Yeah.
Pitcher.
Yeah.
He was a baseball player.
Okay.
And he tried to make a comeback with the Boston Red Sox. Pitched down at McCoy for a few years before he said, I guess I really don't have it anymore, and then he retired. But that's how he died.
Really?
Working on his farm,
Yep.
either a tractor or a truck or something, it fell on him.
Oh.
Yikes! Gosh, that's
That's like that
that's kind of
Jeremy Renner from a couple years ago, the actor in Hollywood with his
that's
snowcat
right.
machine, trying to jump on the snowcat because it was rolling down the hill and he got run over by it.
Yeah.
He's lucky to be alive.
He is
That
lucky to be
story is
alive.
fascinating.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And the end of the latest Star Trek series apparently wasn't helped by the fact that the poor guy that played Chekhov in his driveway, apparently he was behind his pickup truck.
Oh, that's right.
And the truck, I guess it let go and
The young kid
rolled into him and pinned him up against the wall and crushed him.
Did you say a kid just put it in gear, or?
No. That was
No.
it was a young. He was a young kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was only
The
in
actor,
his late
27,
20s.
Yeah, 27, 28.
And they don't have the
He played
reason why
Chekhov.
the truck just went
something
loose?
let go and rolled into him.
Wow.
Up against the wall.
All right. Well, on another note, the Rhode Island Department of Transportation says we are going to replant those trees we cut down by mistake.
Where?
This would be near Roger Williams Park.
Oh.
In March, a contractor working on the I-95-15 project cut down a grove of trees near the park in Providence without permission, leading to concerns about flooding and erosion. RIDOT says some of the trees will be replaced this year. Oops is right. Yeah. And the final landscaping will be installed when the construction of the bridge is finalized in 2027.
They're probably mature trees. That's going to take like 50
50 years to grow back. We're not going to put mature trees.
They're gonna put
Budget
saplings.
restrictions. They're putting like a little 1 foot seedling in the spot of it. Oh boy.
All right. Remember back a few years ago, John's going to remember this, when with Lieutenant Governor Sabina Matos and her underlings were collecting false signatures.
Everybody remembers that.
Do you remember it,
Torpedoed her
Melissa?
campaign.
I do. Yeah.
All right. Well, she pleaded no contest in court.
Yeah.
Of course.
She was doing it on purpose. Wow.
Oh, she said according to her attorney, she said that she signed the document, but she didn't collect the signatures. So somebody collected the signatures. She, as a representative of the campaign, signed it as the official. I collected these when she actually didn't.
Okay.
And then they gave she almost had to plead guilty to it, but no, I thought she
went to-
pleaded nolo or something like that.
Well, according to this, pleaded no contest.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you got me.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So she was sentenced to 3 years, suspended sentence, and then 3 years probation.
I guess you won't be any more key commercials. Huh?
And so basically, she got off. She pled no contest, and okay.
Do you remember?
You
the
have to
Key-
go to
Those
prison.
are the
She was
kinds. Those are the kinds of sentences you get. Like when Gordon Fox only got 3 years. And
Yeah.
When other people in political arenas get sentences cut off. People get frustrated by it, and I get frustrated by it because, frankly, I think this woman deserves to be in jail for a period of time.
6 months, a year? Would that be fine?
Anything.
All right.
But they get, the justice system negotiates down to no jail time simply because these people were kind enough to save them the trouble of having to go into a court and prosecute and collect evidence and get witnesses and do all the things you need to do. So in exchange for saving them the burden of having to put on a trial, they say, all right, we'll skip the judge agrees to skip the sentencing to an actual prison term.
So you saying Law and Order is correct, the TV show, when the prosecutor says, look, if you plead no contest, we'll give you a suspended sentence. All right, I'll take it.
Yeah, that's fairly common if you follow these things.
Okay.
Or a very reduced sentence. I mean, when you think about what Gordon Fox could have been imprisoned for, 3 years in a dormitory wasn't so bad. Same thing with Buddy Cianci. I mean, he could have been in prison for a lot longer.
Yeah.
But he got a short sentence, and it's because they agreed to settle the case and keep the system from having to go to the trouble of doing a trial.
So the Lieutenant Governor, Sabina Matos, she's quoted as saying she's pleased her name has been cleared because everyone was looking at her. Oh, you must have been behind the whole thing. And she wasn't. Obviously, this other woman was doing it all on her own.
I'm still not a big fan.
Well, okay.
Despite her being married to a guy named Patrick Ward, I'm still not a big fan.
Any relation?
No.
No? You sure?
I'm positive.
Okay. Melissa, it's time for a second message from the St. Antoine communities, and then we'll move on to other subjects. See if I can find something fun.
I feel like we should stagger.
Purple.
Stagger?
I feel like I'm never prepared for the second message, and I should be after all these years, and I just am always caught off guard.
Pinwheels.
That's what I'm going to talk about,
There you
Tim.
go.
I was going
See?
to my calendar to make sure that I referenced the correct date because my head is swirling with all things senior year graduation right now. So I'm like, all the dates. Okay. Focusing on work, which is June 25th. We are going to be celebrating the longest day. It's a nationally acknowledged event for the Alzheimer's Association, but we are raising funds to support our local chapter. So if you are interested in supporting this event or even attending this event, we are selling purple pinwheels at both the Villa at St. Antoine and St. Antoine residence for the next few weeks. It's $5 a pinwheel, and you are welcome to write a little personal message to a loved one or a friend or someone that you just have had some experience with that has unfortunately been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And we are going to be assembling them and displaying them on our walking path, the John St. Severe walking path, on the 25th, and having a little gathering celebration that the public is welcome to attend. Live music, refreshments, and it'll be at 1 o'clock on June 25th. So if you need any more information about this event, you can reach me at 401-767-3500 or email me at msmith@santantoine.net.
All right, Melissa, thank you. And the Coffee and program will continue. Comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240.
This is ON Radio. Inferno Audio offers its congratulations to the class of 2025 on your well-deserved success. The sky is the limit, grads. And remember, with technology from Inferno Audio, there's no need to buy a new vehicle. They can update the technology in older car screens and can pair your cell phone screen to your auto's screen for a safe, hands-free experience. Have the latest technology at your fingertips and help from the experts at Inferno Audio. Call 762-3433 or stop by 160 Clinton Street in Woonsocket to see if your car is eligible.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
WOON Radio, feel the spirit.
It is Coffee and here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan with Melissa Smith, who's very busy on her phone.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's quite all right. Tim Draper's here. John Ward is here as well. Well, looks like a woman down in Fall River has been arrested. She robbed a CVS pharmacy and not really looking for money, looking for some drugs or some paraphernalia to use for that. Yeah. And assaulted some staff in the process. A 29-year-old Cheyenne Lynn Diaz was restrained by an off-duty officer during the incident. And after she was arrested, police say a search of her belongings revealed suspected narcotics and other items associated with drug use. She's facing charges that include unarmed robbery and assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. Doesn't say what that is. Could have been her fist, I guess. So
That's a woman with a real problem.
yeah, and
When you're gonna try to rob a CVS, like a pharmacy area or something like that.
she was trying to rob in the pharmacy area, and I was thinking first money.
Oh, the cameras.
Cameras all over the place, and now, if to find some, especially the pharmacy, because you never know what it's going to cost. Paying with cash is just almost unheard of.
Yeah.
What do you want? The $20 that's in the cash register?
Yeah.
We just don't have a lot, and
Right.
and I know people that this is years ago. Worked in management for CVS, and they had to make out the deposits every day. Boy, if they had $2,000 in a day, it was a good day.
Yeah.
There's just not a lot of cash there.
No.
Nope.
Nope.
And everything's done.
I'll get it.
And then everything's done on the.
That
on the
wasn't
scanner.
me, by the way. I know you said I was on my phone, but I was not. It was not me.
And it wasn't John, and it wasn't me. But everything is done through the self checkouts now. It's even
So
at
true.
CVS, they want you on self checkout, and that's basically all just credit card or debit card.
And that makes me crazy. That's a whole nother topic that probably is not on your list to discuss.
It wasn't, but
Joe's list is thin, so.
Well, they tell you to go to self. I'm just going to go there. They tell you to go to self checkout, and then they watch you like a hawk, and then they end up taking over because something always
Something
doesn't
goes
ring in
wrong.
properly, or you move something off the sensor too soon, or whatever. And I'm like, at this point, aren't you checking me out? Like, what's happening?
I will say
Yeah.
Lowe's and Home Depot seem to have finally figured it out from my store perspective. They just you go to the self checkout. It's pretty good about taking your payment method. The scanners are all working. They're not, batteries aren't dead. They've always done a pretty good job, and so no complaints because every time I go to there's only one cashier that's open and there's a line 10 people deep. I'm like, I'm just gonna go to the self checkout.
But this is causing a problem for a mom with a teenage kid who has basically grown up in a world where you don't really like to talk to people.
Oh.
And we're trying to encourage her to get, her first job. She's 15, and it's like, okay, let's go. Like, driving is next year. We're going to start saving some money, whatever. Anything that I've approached her with that involves interaction makes her cringe.
she doesn't want it.
It makes her cringe. And then we were in Lowe's, and she's like, oh, this is self-checkout. The person just stands there at, like, in case someone needs help, but I don't have
to assist.
greet them or
Right.
actually.
But you should say hi.
So I
Can I
just
help
feel like
you?
we're continuing to build this world of you don't have to actually talk to people.
Right.
And people like you, Tim, obviously don't like to talk to people either. You prefer the self
That
checkout
is
line.
very untrue.
I want to buy
Have
my
you met
stuff
me?
and not talk to anybody. I know. Maybe you're tired all week from talking too much.
Her next test should be.
Yeah.
Try this sometime. What's her name? again?
Emily?
All right, Emily, call whatever House of Pizza and order
Yeah.
2 large pizzas.
No,
for
we
us.
do this all the time, and and it's like a 30-minute fight. So you have to build in the time because that's what it is. It's the fight about it, and then she finally, because basically it's like, well, we're gonna hold out. We're not
Until
gonna
you-
get any dinner
until
until
you
right.
call.
Then she'll finally call, and then the next is what? When we pull up,
Yeah. You
you're
gotta go
getting
in.
out and you're gonna go in and pay.
Oh, I don't want to go in.
So this is actually a
Oh,
funny
that's
story.
funny.
This happened last week it was Saturday night. Lindy, she was going to be home. My husband and I had a fundraiser, and we had promised her we would grab her takeout before we went out. Anyways, so put a call into Lindy's, made her do it because it was for her. I'm like,
Okay.
it's your food. We're not getting anything. It's
Yeah,
your
it's
food.
your food.
Okay, great. And then it was, well, get in the car. We're going to go pick it up. What?
Oh, stop being delivered.
So then, Well, of course, it becomes, why aren't we using DoorDash? We've never done that. I just want to let you know.
Okay.
On purpose.
Yeah.
She's done it on school trips. They do that on school trips now. They get DoorDash to the hotel.
Meet the bus.
Whatever. Anyway, so we go to Lindy's, and you're going in to go get it.
Yeah.
What? Here's my credit card. What? So
Wow.
then she goes in and she comes out.
At the first one, I would have called and said, cancel the order. I would have gotten a box of Cheerios,
comes
put it on the
back
counter, and
so
said, good
fast.
luck.
Really?
So fast, and I'm like, did you check your bag? Like, is it? I didn't check that. I said, okay. When you swiped the credit card, did you give a tip? I didn't know what to do, and I couldn't do fast math. Now this is a math kid. She's got a 99 average in honors math, and she goes, I couldn't do fast math. I go, what?
What
And
is
she's
the
like,
point of this
she's like, I
times
put $1 in.
$1 tip.
Did you go back to the restaurant and give them more money?
I said our number is registered with them. The next time we get our order, it's gonna be
Messed
botched.
up.
They're gonna,
Oh,
you know.
that's
And her
so
sister
funny.
works as a, I don't know what you call that, like a greeter or whatever at another restaurant locally, and so she is largely built on tips. Like that's her pay is even if you're the greeter, but you go and
Yeah.
grab takeout out of the
Yeah.
back, whatever tip comes through from a customer goes to her.
Okay.
And I'm like, Allie would kill you right now if
Oh,
she
yeah.
knew that you gave
$1
$1
tip. That
to
is
a
so-
poor lady.
So I hope you told her.
Oh my God! Of course we did.
That's
But
so
yeah, no,
funny.
you're right. We keep poking at it because this generation, I'm telling you, they do anything that they can to get out of talking to
interaction.
people.
Yeah.
Interaction. You go to Chipotle and it's like, Mom, will you order me? No.
Right. Because
You
we've raised
order
it.
what
We've
you
raised them
want
in front of a
you.
computer screen. They don't have to
Oh,
talk
it's
to
exhausting.
anybody.
But so we keep pushing it. But I know a lot of parents don't.
Yeah.
Well, my daughter was like that too, and thankfully, after working at a Dunkin' Donuts and now working at an Old Navy, she's had a lot of back and forth with people, so she's a little better at
With
it
the
now.
human race?
With the human race,
Yeah.
yeah. So.
Yeah.
I torture these people because if I go into a McDonald's
Oh
around
my
the
God,
road,
you were so
I
my
don't
dad.
go into McDonald's, but when I have, it's a kiosk, and I walk straight over to the register and order my food.
Yeah.
And but they probably stare at you. What
Like
do you
weird.
want?
But the fact is, I can't think of one fast food establishment where what they put to order, I want in the form that they're offering it.
Yeah.
Period. So when I get a hamburger, it's not going to have the same stuff on it that somebody else that they put on those menus. Right?
Yeah.
So I always have some modification to it, and I'm not going to. If you ever try to go through all of the changes to make the things,
I
in there,
have, and it's
What a pain in the butt.
It is, but it can be done.
It can be. I'm not standing at that.
Did he
Yeah.
say
do
he
it.
has
It's easier
special
for me just to walk up
modifications?
and
Special
walk.
modifications.
He's
No
that,
onions.
He's that
No
special
onions.
customer.
No onions on the hamburger.
Oh, yeah.
That's the way I would go. I would roll
One
that
squirt
as
of
well.
ketchup, not two.
Right.
One of those guys.
Oh,
And,
It's
and
not
preferably
that-
the
no, it's-
ketchup on the burger, not on the bun.
No, it's
On
not,
top
it's-
of the bun.
It's not that severe.
Seen that happen.
You know, put it on the side. It's fine.
My daughter gets that at Dunkin' though. You know, 4 shots or whatever, not 3 and not
Oh,
5,
right.
4.
Isn't it a sad day when you know how many pumps they're putting in something?
And people
It's
bring
really
them back.
sad.
Yeah.
People have brought back the drinks.
And the fact
this is wrong.
The fact is, they devise those pumps. So if you ever work there, the plan is designed around one pump. That's it. That's all
Yeah.
it should be.
Yeah.
If they design a product, they should have usually the
Well,
pump
it's
will be
the difference
one
between
pump.
a 50-calorie drink and a 6,000-calorie drink with all of the pumps. I've been trying to explain that to my youngest with the refreshers. I'm like, you're getting like 3 flavors pumped into that green tea or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's easy. You just jumped it up to like a 600, 700-calorie drink
Sugar rush.
But
with
it
pumps.
but it tastes so good.
But it tastes so good. Mom, it's just green tea.
Mom.
Yeah, green tea.
Come on, Mom.
Straight A, honor student.
How's the common sense factor?
It's just-
There should be a grade for common sense.
You know why I'm
not sure that
tired
there
all
is
the
one.
time when I come into the show. You guys are like, you've forgotten. It's
Kennedy-
high maintenance
Kennedy will-
generation.
Oh, man.
Secretary Kennedy will put the stop to that.
Yeah, he'll fix it all.
That's right. You can't buy your sodas with your SNAP benefits anymore, right?
No, and you can't.
I still go back to the early 70s when I worked at Elmax and Blackstone, and you could not buy soda in
Oh, really?
Massachusetts with food stamps. Just was not allowed. It was not considered a food product.
What about like Kool-Aid?
Candy, you couldn't buy candy.
What about Kool-Aid?
the Kool-Aid packets, the powdered?
Yeah.
They sold that. I don't know if you could
All
buy
right.
that.
But juice,
You
like
might,
apple juice,
but
okay?
the apple juice was fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Juices
wondering.
were okay, but soda,
But soda
you
was
could not
not.
buy with food stamps.
All right, we're going to take a break here in the Coffee and program, and time for the forecast being brought to you by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Sunny skies today with a high of 85 degrees and a calm wind. Tonight, mostly clear, overnight low of 59. Thursday's weather, mostly sunny and hot with a high of 92 degrees. Friday, a 50-50 chance of showers mostly later in the day. Friday night, 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Saturday, showers are likely, 70% chance. Cloudy skies and 74. Sunday, partial sunshine and 77. Monday, partly sunny and 77 again. And next Tuesday, mostly cloudy with a high near 77 degrees.
Outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, we've got mostly sunny skies and 63 degrees. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call a 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
The Valley Breeze has been a local news leader since its founding in 1996, and more people are reading our stories today than ever before. We believe our mission of making our community stronger by telling their stories is not just a tagline, but a way of life for our staff as they connect with you, our loyal readers and advertisers. Our team thanks you for always reading, always reaching out, and always helping toward our shared vision. Check out any of our 5 editions or visit valleybreeze.com for more.
Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogies with onions and what they call dirty sour cream. Or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported foods. Open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 9 in the morning till 6 p.m., Wednesdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays from 8 to 5 p.m. It's Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse. Follow us on Facebook and learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street, Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
WOON Woonsocket Radio.
Coffee Ann on ON. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Melissa Smith and John Ward and Tim Draper. And Tim, time for your first message from your Navigant Credit Union.
All right, great. Well, you know what, Joe? Deliver a little good news to a couple local organizations. Our foundation committee met 2 weeks ago. And we had some selections on who we were going to give some grants to. And I am happy to report that Community Care Alliance here in Woonsocket is a recipient of a grant that will help them deal with a little bit of a snafu they have in their website. They're going to get some website upgrade with the grant that we've given them. And also the Elks, our friends at the Elks are getting some money to support their Coats for Kids effort in December or in the winter this year coming up. So we're proud to have been able to support those two organizations here in the great city of Woonsocket. And along with those two organizations, we ended up giving out about $290,000 this round to organizations across the state. So specifically here in Woonsocket, we're pleased for those two organizations, and you may be hearing a little more about that as time goes by. So if you want to know more about the foundation that Navigant Credit Union has, or any of the donation opportunities, sponsorship opportunities, please visit the community tab on our website where you can apply for grants and donations and sponsorships. Oh my.
Very good, Tim.
Oh
All
my.
right. So when I said, your Navigant Credit Union, it always reminds me, we all remember Ben Mondor, right? Owner of the Pawtucket Red Sox?
Yep.
If he heard the PA announcer say, your Pawtucket Red Sox, he would fly off the handle.
Because they were his Pawtucket Red Sox.
They're not yours, they're mine.
I own them.
I own them, only me. So the regular PA guy knew about this and never did it. But sometimes someone had to fill in.
Yeah.
Now, they're taking the field, and here are your Pawtucket Red Sox. Have him never say that again.
Ben was quirky in some ways.
And if Ben said you jumped.
Yeah.
And it was the funniest thing with Ben. He had such the grandfatherly, outward to the public figure.
Yeah.
Behind, look out.
He's a tough businessman. Yeah.
Very, very difficult.
Yep.
And not difficult, but you did it Ben's way.
Right.
And that was it.
Yeah.
So, all righty.
The difference between management and marketing.
Yeah, you're right. All right. I don't know if you agree with this. Let's see. A North Attleboro man was convicted of a 2019 double murder when he was 19 years old. He will now be eligible for parole after he served 60 years in prison. Daniel Randall is now 25 years old. was sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole after jury trial in 2023. The Supreme Judicial Court in Massachusetts ruled last year that nobody can be sentenced to life in prison with no parole for crimes they committed when they were under the age of 21. It's a Massachusetts thing.
Is that a law, or is this a judicial decision
The court ruled.
masking as law?
Well, the judicial court ruled. So I guess it's not a law.
Oh.
They've just decided.
Yeah,
But
well, I've got a couple of fingers I'd like to share with them to express my disagreement.
Well, the good part is, okay, he's 25 now, so he'll be 85 when he's eligible for parole.
Lucky him.
So, I mean,
At
maybe he
least
gets
he
out
doesn't
in
have to worry about making a living and buying his lunch.
Well, that's right. So he's all set. But I just thought it was odd that I didn't know we had this rule in Massachusetts, so you can come out and commit heinous crimes as long as you're under 21.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
I didn't know that the judges could, the court could have rules that would treat somebody differently, whether they're an adult over 18 or an adult over 21.
Sounds to me like this is
Yeah.
a Bob Lauder question for tomorrow, Joe. Mark that right there and
Wrong
ask
day.
him that question.
Save,
I'm actually curious about that as well.
Yeah, mark
so.
it Thursday.
I'll ask him about it.
Don't tell him what I said. He'll think I was a cruel
No, I won't.
conservative Republican.
He already thinks that.
Oh,
The only thing is that, well, and as he always likes to say, well, I don't practice in Mass, so
That's
you know,
okay.
I don't know. So if it was a Rhode Island question,
Well, I
or
mean, the question
Virginia,
is more about can the judicial.
But I
can-
suspect-
yeah, well, it's about the judicial
I
court.
suspect he'll think it's a reasonable accommodation.
He probably will, because that's
So
the way Bob
they can always
thinks.
go back and say he's eligible for parole after 60 years
That's true, and that's true. So okay.
when he's 85.
All right. So let's see. Up in Massachusetts. Back in Rhode Island. Oh, I can't remember her title. Liz Tanner
Oh, she's the commerce director.
resigned,
She did?
or she's stepping down.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
but now
Yes.
she's supposed to be running the nonprofit that's being
There's
set
a new
up in
nonprofit.
Middletown.
Yeah. Okay.
It's having to do with
So John's heard about it. You haven't heard?
I have not heard.
Yeah. And Melissa hasn't heard
breaking
either.
I was off the. I was off.
it
the
all
I
sort
heard
of
it yesterday.
It all popped up very late yesterday.
Late
afternoon.
yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was off the grid. So
I don't know when it takes effect. I don't know if it was
June
immediate
3rd,
or
I think it said June
end
30th.
of the month.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Well,
she's not. She's resigning as commerce director to go run a
a nonprofit. Yes.
in
Yes.
Middletown.
in
read
Middletown.
about
It has to
that.
do with coastal preservation or some such
Oh.
nonsense.
So, but no word on who's going to take
Keep
over.
talking, I'll find it.
No. If you can find who's going to take over Department of Commerce, and then I heard Dan McKee, who will be running for re-election, has who snickered?
Me.
It wasn't.
That would be me.
Has hired some person out of New York.
Yes.
The governor's someone that worked with the governor of New York to be his campaign manager, basically.
Yeah.
So
He's got.
Yeah,
Dan's got some challenges in his,
It was the
his popularity.
It was
More
the
than a-
deputy campaign manager for
The governor.
the governor of New
Hochul?
York.
Hochul? Is that how you say that? Okay. Well, that's who he's has hired.
So that's going to be that's not an inexpensive service to bring somebody in from New York who's got that kind of high profile.
No, this is going to be some bucks.
Right.
Yeah, coming right out of his. That would come out of his war chest, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I would think.
You can't put him on the tax roll onto the payroll for the state.
Is the governor of Rhode Island's job really worth that?
I think he's expecting a big challenge from Peter Nerona,
I
who
think
has
so,
not
too.
said he's running, but probably will.
But's done everything in the world to show that he wants to.
Yeah.
He may not have said it.
No, I think Nerona's definitely going to run.
Okay.
I think neither him or McKee has strong support enough to overcome folks who
Really?
Right.
who was getting ready to roll over McKee, except she ran out of time.
Right.
And,
Last time.
and
What about
all
Shekarchi?
of them have. Well, Shekarchi says he won't run if the governor's running, and I think it's a question of how many people Shekarchi can muster to rally around him that are in positions of power called union leadership to persuade McKee to step aside and just retire.
He's got the most money, doesn't he, Shekarchi?
He's
in
got
his
over
war chest?
$4 million. He's got more
Wow.
money than it takes to run for a U.S. Senate seat.
Yeah.
Up in Massachusetts, the governor up there, Maura Healey, she wants to create 3,500 new housing units on unused state-owned land. I don't know where this stuff is. The inventory located several dozen sites on 450 acres that would accommodate the new units. The state will partner with developers through a bid process. Governor Healey said she's following through on her pledge to use every tool to build more housing and lower costs statewide.
So they're going to be purchasable. Is that the word? That's not the word.
That's a word.
Can you buy
is it
them?
housing to buy, or is it apartments?
Housing units. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I'm sorry, did you say where? Near Boston? Like where?
Well, she runs the state. She
Right.
just says on
I know, but you didn't say-
unused state-owned land.
So this could be out in the Berkshires.
Could be. It could. Or out on the Cape, or
Yeah.
know,
There's a big price difference between
out there.
West.
And I guarantee you that it's not going in the Cape or anything.
I was saying, right on the vineyard.
On the vineyard.
Right on the vineyard.
Mid Massachusetts and Worcester.
Maybe floating. It could be a
Nothing
floating
in
concept.
Nantucket.
Could be.
By the way, the new state nonprofit that's being launched to help Rhode Island score big in the 2026 World Cup is
That's right.
going to be where Commerce Secretary Liz Tanner is going to go.
The World Cup is coming to Foxborough,
Yeah.
and
So they set
think
up a
Rhode Island
nonprofit in Middletown
get some
to
money out of that.
promote the World
Well,
Cup.
I think so too. I think the Rhode Island FC is going to have to leverage their stadium over there for some sort of training facilities or something
Yep.
like that. I would imagine, right? And
That would be great. Yeah.
And then
They
you've
were
got all the
planning for
hotels
it.
and stuff. Yeah, hopefully they're planning for it. I'm sure they are. I can't imagine that has not been a topic of conversation with those guys.
Yeah, because the matches are going to be hosted at Gillette.
Right.
So
Right.
the best they can hope for would be to get practices
Right.
and attraction.
Anything on who's going to take over for Liz Tanner?
No.
Not yet. Is that something that the governor appoints?
Governor
so.
appoints, yeah. And it'll probably need Senate confirmation,
Mm-hmm.
which won't happen until they come into their fall special session to pick up whatever's left to deal with when the federal government does what they do with the big beautiful bill that Elon Musk is saying is garbage.
It's just so funny.
So when is FIFA, right? Is it FIFA soccer? When is
Yeah.
it
Yes,
coming?
that's the soccer.
Is it next?
2026.
26.
Do we think some of the construction in Providence could get cleaned up by then, so we look a little better if
Hopefully
we were to
the
drawing
construction on
tourism
the
in?
roads.
No.
It's so.
Yeah, just get the bridges finished, the construction. And the,
Well, let's just
the-
have one. If it's one bridge, no big deal. It's every bridge. It's every
well,
road.
yeah, yeah.
We just finished one of them.
Route 7, Route 146, both 295s in Cumberland, every single one of those
Every
bridges.
single.
And the roads go from three
Yes.
lanes back into two, back
Near
into three,
every
back
exit.
into two.
I'm still fascinated by the fact that you can still watch the videos of them replacing 150-foot spans in Japan over a weekend.
Yeah.
Oh.
And in Rhode Island, nothing takes less than 3 years.
The tiny little bridge in Cumberland over the reservoir
reservoir.
on Diamond
Oh,
Hill Road
God.
is scheduled for like a year and a half
Yep.
replacement. Like, why did you just build it on the field
Yep.
and then have a big? You could probably put the crane in
Put
the
it-
road,
yeah.
pick it up on one
Abs-
side, and drop it on the other.
Yep,
You
absolutely.
could get
do
300
that.
volunteers to go and pick that up for them
Yeah.
instead of
The
even
people in
renting
the
a
town
crane.
of Cumberland would do it. We would be thrilled.
The only possible answer is it's got to be the labor union's control over how things are operated in this state to make it
It's
drag
just
out
too many
as long as
projects at
possible.
once. It really should have been more.
And it is crazy, Tim. Driving down 295 south, in Diamond Hill Road, Mendon
Yep.
Road, 146. Yeah, everyone's got to get over to the middle lane to take the right to get off the exit.
It's
Right.
funny when you leave. Our state is small, and I get that. But you leave our state and you go to Massachusetts, and it's like and then you
Just
go,
go to New
to
Hampshire.
Connecticut, and it's like
Just go to
and
New
then you go
Hampshire.
So
It's
just getting
stunning.
out of our little state of orange cones is so refreshing. You feel like you're on vacation.
However, they actually did finish one project.
Which one?
Because I just came from the airport and I got on Route 37
Yeah.
and the bridge that was crossing Pontiac Avenue.
Oh,
and-
yeah? Is it
yeah,
done?
And
Wow.
90 and no Pontiac Avenue. It's done.
Yeah.
The roadway is now marked lanes the way it's going to be
Right.
finished.
You know what? They,
And so
they built
now
that.
They
all
do
you
like
have-
confetti
so now all you have
canisters
to-
when that happens. Like
Now all you have to deal with is once you get towards 295 and you do that Route 2 coming in, splitting out to Route
Oh,
295,
yeah.
that construction.
and all that single lane nonsense,
Mm-hmm.
that's still there, and they're still building some kind of ramp coming up on 37
Yeah,
from
they're switching the on ramp to 295 from the left side to the right
to
side.
the right side.
Yeah, that's what that whole thing is all about.
oh my god.
Which is okay, but it seems like that's taken forever.
So
I asked-
so one bridge out of like 56
Yeah.
is done. And I just Joe heard me, but I was like, can they at least just do some like confetti canisters or
Yeah.
something to like mark the occasion? One down. Yeah.
Millennials aren't in charge.
Well,
yet.
I think
that's
what
coming.
they need to do is they need to get enough of them so that the governor can do his photo ops about
At each one?
one a week for the 10 weeks before the primary
Before
election.
election.
Done.
I've asked Bill Murray, former mayor of Cumberland, who's been here, because they started on the Menden Road project while he was still mayor. And I said, Bill, I cannot remember when they weren't working on this Menden Road bridge.
Right.
Yeah.
It's been going on so long.
Yeah.
And he agreed. He goes, I don't know.
I don't know. It's insane. We are the most inefficient state on the planet.
All right. It is time for a
In
break.
every area of
Alviti will
society.
tell you that actually they're being extremely efficient because apparently what they're doing is they hire certain jobs to be, or they have to schedule certain portions of the job to be done, and the crews come in and do that portion of it
And then they go
everywhere,
somewhere else.
and then they go somewhere else, and they sequence it
Yeah.
so that they can work on 40 projects at once.
Yeah.
I guess
Makes
it's
sense.
it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
All right. Tim, time for a second message from Navigant Credit Union, please.
So, Joe, just want to remind everybody, if you have a small business out there, I guess I'm not reminding everybody, I'm going to remind those small business owners out there that if you're looking for cash management services, Navigant Credit Union has a great team that would be behind you to help you run your business and help you worry about your finances so that you don't have to worry about your finances. You can do the things that help hopefully make your business successful, which is deal with all of your customers in a positive, timely manner, and we'll take care of all the finances for you. So if you are looking for any cash management services, please give us a call, 233-4700, or visit us online at navigantcu.org.
All right, Tim, thanks. And when we come back, Melissa, get ready. There's something coming
Can I-
for you next segment.
I wanted to change something.
Go, you change something.
No, I just want to say, there's anybody calling the credit union over the next week or so, if you notice some changes to our contact center phone bank, we've made some improvements. And so things are a little different when you when you call. Please don't hang up and try to call back and try to beat the prompt system. We've put some technology in place that in the next month is going to really rock your socks when you call us, and we're going to know who you are and what you're doing.
Just to have my socks
and-
rocked.
and we're going to be able to give you balances and stuff based on the number that you're calling from. I mean, it's really cool technology. I'll talk about it.
And our
future
blood
commercials.
Cool.
And you have to put that in somewhere.
All right, more coffee ends coming up. Stay tuned.
First news, best music. You're tuned to ON Radio.
When it comes to emergency service for plumbing and heating, you can't beat C.J. Nemus, 37 Corey Street in Woonsocket. C.J. Nemus offers over 15 years of experience and is licensed in both Rhode Island and Massachusetts. C.J. Nemus offers complete heating system service, plumbing, water heaters, plus drain and sewer cleaning. Remember that senior citizens receive a 10% discount. So give Charlie a call today at C.J. Nemus, 769-4776. They're registered with the Better Business Bureau. They're a master plumber with quality service. It's the only way and the best way. With C.J. Nemus, call today, 769-4776 for C.J. Nemus.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait one sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement $999.99 and qualifying forwarded. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card below 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
It is Coffee In on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan here with John Warden, Tim Draper, and Melissa Smith. And all right, Melissa, ready?
I'm so cringe.
This has got to do with.
She's panicked.
I know, but it's got more to do with your job at St. Antoine's.
That's why I'm cringing.
And is this a situation over there? Because the story we have just says more seniors are using marijuana than ever before.
You asked me that before, and I have surveyed some of our nurses, and I don't have any patients to our knowledge.
Okay.
using marijuana, but it's not to say that that isn't allowable. It has a lot to do with a doctor writing a script. No different than a resident asking for a glass of red wine every night, if that's part of their ritual. If the doctor writes the note kind of thing, we can
I could have a
accommodate the
glass
wish.
of red wine if I was there?
Is that the only thing preventing you from moving in?
Yeah, pretty much.
We'll make that happen, Tim.
Well,
I've got connections for you.
New research out of UC San Diego and NYU found Americans 65 and older increased use of marijuana by nearly 50% between 2021 and 2023. The numbers come as more states legalize marijuana. The use surged higher among women than men.
Now, is it smoking marijuana or is
it just says using?
Okay, so
There's
it could
drops.
be the gummies and the
And
drops.
there's,
Right.
and there's
Okay.
so much proven evidence, especially for,
I was thinking more of
neurological
like
conditions.
the
and
assisted living area where they
oh,
could...
they could be doing it, and
do
I would
it.
have no idea.
No
they
idea.
can do whatever
Okay.
they want in their apartments.
You don't want to know what those guys are doing.
But I will say the wave of generation coming through is definitely more social when it comes to recreational activities of sorts, and marijuana is no different. And I think we're going to have to keep adapting with the times.
Yeah.
And I think this is something that a lot of people are using to treat not just neurological conditions and your MS and your Parkinson's, et cetera, but it's now going to, people obviously with mental health conditions like anxiety and depression are being treated medically for those conditions with marijuana now. So we have to keep adapting and coming with the times. But everything with a doctor's note is permittable.
I just didn't know if any like the cleaning crew had reported, gee, this is what I smelled in their apartment. What's going on over there?
Well, let's just put it this way. You can drive down 146 and you can smell.
Oh my
all,
God, you
right?
can. I know.
So
Yeah.
you can go into the grocery store and every aisle smells like it today. So,
right.
All right.
Walk
okay.
the dog around the block.
yeah. It's really.
Wow, it's everywhere.
All right.
Remember when you used to think it was a skunk?
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
it's like,
No.
That's
No.
even the skunks aren't around
and,
anymore.
and it does certain quality does smell, as my wife calls it, skunk weed.
Yeah.
Because yes, I walk the dog in at least 3 spots. I would have normally been looking everywhere to find the skunk, but I don't look anymore.
no.
I don't think the skunks like the smell, frankly.
That's what I said. I think they're gone. I think the skunks. Maybe that's what we need to do.
Well, I didn't know this was was an issue. Gibson Guitar is launching a search for the guitar that Michael J. Fox played in Back to the Future.
I heard about that.
That's missing?
It's missing.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was a problem. But
The guitar maker posted a video on Tuesday and helping out Michael J. Fox, Leah Thompson, Christopher Lloyd, and Huey Lewis, asking the public to send in tips on where the guitar might be. The search and its hopeful recovery will be featured in a new documentary called Lost to the Future. Clever, huh? The iconic cherry red ES-345 was rented from Norman's Rare Guitars in Los Angeles for the filming of the first movie, and it's not known what happened to it after it was returned.
Isn't it funny?
It's the 40th anniversary, by the way, of Back to the Future.
Imagine that you make a movie and you don't think anything of it, right? You're not,
Yeah.
I'm not going to. Why would we save any of this stuff? This is just junk. It's just props.
Right.
Throw it away.
We rented it,
and
we
then the
gave it
movie
back.
becomes iconic.
Yeah.
And it's like, boy, I wish I had all this. Like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was always the one. I'm like, where is that car?
Maybe
That's
it's
the
been
next.
dismantled.
That's the next documentary.
I know. Actually, I think it does
Or
exist.
Herbie.
Herbie the Love Bug. Where's that? I think that's in the Peterson Auto Museum, though, in California. I think that's where that is. I don't know what
The
Chitty.
question is, they rented the guitar, they brought it back to the store.
Yes.
Is it really that valuable?
Well, that's what I'm
It is
thinking.
now.
I mean,
Well-
you're talking about what fingerprints that might have been left on. They're wiped off by now. Like it was rented.
Yeah, but it was
So
in a
you would
movie.
hope someone's
it's all
cleaned
about,
it.
It's all about.
Well,
it was
maybe-
in a movie.
So make a duplicate.
Well, they were,
You know.
you know,
Then
they're
it's not
making
worth as much.
they're making the documentary, so they went back to Gibson and said, we could use this guitar, and so they went searching for it, and now we can't find it. And so
But
it's like,
there-
well, where's it gone?
There has to be
Someone may have bought it.
another guitar
just like it.
identical to it
Yeah.
somewhere.
I've never
And
been
just
the.
pretend?
I mean,
I've never
they
understood the
don't have to have serial
memorabilia thing.
numbers.
Like I've never understood people who invest millions of dollars in jerseys and things like that. And you're like, just get a duplicate and tell people it's
But
the
it's
real
not
thing.
the original. It's not the real thing.
It's then you're talking like germs and dirt factor and cringe and all the
Yes.
things like, and it's just no.
That's what makes
I
it
saw
unique.
this great little video talking. It's this husband and wife team that do things in reels on Facebook, and he's talking to her about how you buy things that go through a process where they go from a cherished owned property to junk, to trash, and how it goes from being out on display to being put in a closet to making it out to the garage.
To being part of a garage sale.
And if it actually survives you out in the garage, then your children throw it away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But basically, everything you buy today is tomorrow's trash.
Yeah.
That's true.
Correct. Now, you must remember Siskel and Ebert.
Yeah.
Okay. Gene Siskel, he was the bald one.
Yep.
All right. Loved the movie Saturday Night Fever so much that he bought at auction John Travolta's white suit.
No, sure.
And had it encased in his house.
Okay.
Talk about back to memorabilia.
Yeah.
Now, he has passed away. Where is it now?
Nobody knows, really.
Well, I don't know. Maybe one of his kids has it.
Yeah.
But he spent good money to purchase that suit just so he could have it.
I mean, the most famous thing is the ruby slippers from the Wizard
Oh,
of Oz.
yeah.
Right?
They keep stealing that.
There was 7 pairs, I think, that
Something
they
like
were
that,
for the movie, and there's one guy that was in Canada or maybe he was in Massachusetts that loaned them to somebody and then never got them back, and then there's this big legal fight.
And what I
about
love
them.
is if you watch the movie closely enough, they'll show you. You can find that scene where she's supposed to be wearing them, but she's not actually.
Oops.
She's just got black shoes on.
Gotta tilt the camera up.
Right. Well, those things could have been comfortable.
Oh, true. All right. You're gonna have to get a hold of the principal at North Smithfield High.
Oh boy.
For your graduation that's coming up.
Oh,
because
yeah, the weather.
See, well, no, not the
Oh,
weather.
the weather's
See if they
not
want to do
good.
this. A North Texas high school principal is sending the class of 2025 on their way with a personal touch. Principal Jason Mutterer of Summit High School gave each school's 443. That's a huge class.
Holy cow.
Graduating seniors a handwritten letter, and everyone got a $1 bill.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
All right. Says it took him more than 24 hours to write the note. All right. Tim McCann has brought treats.
Holy cow.
Thanks,
Are
Tim.
those Lucky Charms?
God. Yeah.
Fruity Pebbles, I think.
Those are Lucky
I
Charms.
don't know. That's
Yeah, that's a Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
And then sprinkles. This one's plain. Wow.
What's the occasion? Is it your birthday? Oh.
No. Does it? Oh, wow.
He's like, I put my finger in it
it's
so
like
that I
a
can tell
reset.
you.
By the way, the principal said it took
Okay.
him 24 hours to write the notes.
So I am always amazed. There was a track coach, and the kids called him Seal, Coach Seal, that just retired this year. He had been the track coach.
They are the
Guys
donuts.
featuring the donuts. I love it. He had been the track coach at the high school for, I don't know, 15, 20 years. Amazing. Old school. Before every track meet. Now you're talking like winter track, indoor track, I think probably had about 45, 50 kids. Spring track had probably about 100 kids participating. Every kid before every meet got a handwritten index card with an encouraging note from him and their goal for the track meet.
He did that with every meet?
Every single meet for every single participant. And when I tell you, I could tear up over this coach because it's a dying breed. Coaches like this don't exist anymore. But the kids were talking in the back of the car. This was a couple months ago, and he didn't coach this winter. It was the first season without him. And my daughter and her friend actually kept those index cards in their bag before the meet to just whip it out as though he had just written them one just to kind of get themselves motivated. It meant so much to them. But all of them have found a way to put shadow boxes of his little notes to take with them to college because they're just so meaningful that someone took the time to write a little personal. That doesn't happen anymore.
That's
like
great.
A text message barely even happens, but just communication with a handwritten note and an index card, personalizing it, and then believing in a person.
Right.
Just doesn't exist as much anymore. So I love that idea
that's
that principal
great idea.
did that, and that's a tremendous gesture. 443.
He's out 443
kids.
bucks.
Wow.
And he found something nice to say about every single one of them,
Doesn't
even
say-
the mean kids, huh?
Doesn't say nice. Everyone got a personal
You
message.
are a tool.
I'm so glad you're out of here.
Oh my gosh!
Not go to
I wish
college.
more people would do that
Here's
because
your
I think
dollar.
it
Get
does
outta here.
matter.
Grow up,
It
you
certainly
little
matters.
All right, I got one more
You have
story
a
to get
lot of
to.
growing up.
The U.S. Supreme Court is banning nearly a dozen baby names. I didn't know they could do
U.S.
this.
Supreme Court?
According to the website, usbirthcertificates.com, here are the names you can't use for a first name. King, Queen, Jesus Christ are illegal in the United States. New parents should avoid naming their kid Santa Claus, Majesty, Adolf Hitler, and the Roman numeral 3, since those are not up to stuff for the U.S. government. Running out the list is Nutella, Messiah,
What are
and,
we listening
and the
to?
@ symbol
That was Prince.
in the number
Hashtag.
1069. Each U.S. state follows its own set of name guidelines, but typically ban numerals, emojis, and special
All
characters.
right, how about my lord? Is that in there?
That is
Can
not
we
in
name
there.
the
What
kid
are
my
all the
lord?
That's
Kardashian
okay.
kids' names? Aren't their kids all
Oh,
weird
West?
names?
No, it's like West, Northwest.
One was Apple.
East. Apple was one.
That was Gwyneth Paltrow.
Moon Unit.
Was
was
it?
My
Oh,
favorite.
okay.
Frank Zappa's kids, Moon Unit and Dweezil.
But there's some weird stuff out there, and
Well, they're trying to. Well, you can't.
There's
use
been
those
weird names
so-
forever.
Yeah. So.
and at
little
symbol,
Adolf
I'm just
Hitler.
like thinking to myself.
Well, what is it for Progressive, where the parents have the commercial where they sold the naming rights to their child, and now getting their diploma is Ron's Muffler Shop. It's so funny. Well, we
I'll
sold the
have to
naming
look for
rights for a
that.
lot of money. It's pretty good. All right, that'll do it for the show for today. Thank you very much for listening in. Melissa, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and Tim Draper, thanks for
See,
being
we
in.
left off on a high note. Melissa.
I
Pretty
know. I
good.
feel better. The start of the show, I was
See you,
very
everybody.
worried the way you set it
All
up.
right, and John Ward, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me, and go out and enjoy this early version of a heat wave. While we have it, it's going to cool off and rain, so enjoy the God-given day.
All right, stay tuned for Gary Smith and the crew. Do you remember is coming up after the 9 o'clock news on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news.
NBC News Radio.